Well, it looks like it's 10 o'clock. Good morning, everyone. My name's Scott Fennell. For those of you who don't know me, welcome to today's webinar, Transforming IT into a Strategic Business Driver, being less reactive and more strategic. The webinar is being recorded so we can view it and share later. Microphones are muted, so if you have any questions, pop them in the chat. And here we go. Introductions. So myself, my name's Scott Fennell. I'm a client exec, so think account manager for Kinetics clients, and I sit between our clients and all parts of the business and help out where I can. Not an engineer. And Reese?
Thanks, Scott. Yeah, I'm Reese Kerrigan. I head up the professional services team here at Kinetics. We call ourselves Cambium, which some of you may have heard of. I guess a bit about me. I've been working in the IT industry for a very long time. It's over 30 years now, and I've got the grey hairs and wrinkles to prove it. And during that time, I have worked with organisations of all sort of shapes and sizes. For the past 10 years, my role here at Kinetics has been working with some of our clients to provide them strategic IT advice. And a large part of that role has been as an IT manager as part of what we call our IT manager as a service engagement. Typically, this is for clients that sort of know that they need more of strategic IT advice, but can't justify the large paycheck of a full-time CIO. And so we're able to fill that gap. Also, part of my role is assisting customers through some of their digital transformation projects. That's helping them identify what their problems are, coming up with solutions, maybe selecting more modern applications, and then helping them through the implementation of those modern applications. So as Scott said, this presentation has been recorded. We'll share the recording on the kinetics.co.nz website. Microphones are muted, but feel free to post some questions in the chat, and Scott will pick them up as we go through, or maybe we'll address them all at the end. And yeah, let's get into it. So yeah, this presentation is around the journey from firefighting to being future ready. And as Scott mentioned, it is really, we're going to talk about being more proactive and less reactive. And I guess it's good to be clear from the outset that in IT, it's impossible to be 100% proactive. Everything changes in IT. It's a very dynamic space. There's new versions, there's updates, there's patches, there's people wanting to do new things. Even within an organization, people are coming and going and changing roles. So, and on top of that, things break. So there's always going to be a level of firefighting that your IT team is going to have to perform. But I guess this webinar is about how do you manage that and make sure that you're still being as proactive and strategic as you can be. So let's get into it. What we are seeing and what we have seen in some customers is that often the reality is your systems are running, and when there is issues, they're getting resolved. And if you've got an internal IT team or an external IT provider, they're busy, they're juggling, they're fixing the problems, and things are ticking along. But what you might be missing is that IT is seen as a bit of a cost center. It's seen as, let's try and do the very least we can and react to all the issues and fix them, and then move on, and then react to the next one and the next one. There's no proactivity. There's no thought to go, rather than just applying these band-aids over and over again, let's get to the root cause of the problem and prevent them from happening so we don't have to address them again. There's often no alignment with business goals. So often the business leaders don't really understand what the IT team are doing, and the IT team often don't really understand what the business is doing and what their priorities and goals and strategy is. And often what we see too is there's limited visibility. So the leadership team, the management team, maybe even the board, don't have a clear picture of the health of their IT systems, or where their IT systems are holding them back or not providing them a strategic advantage. So yeah, have a think about how your IT systems stand at the moment. Is it tactical? Is it what needs fixing? Are your IT people, whether they're internal or external, are they just reacting and going, I know I need to do this, I'll just respond and respond and respond, and it's all about how fast we can respond and applying band-aids and workarounds? Or are you stopping and asking, why are we doing this? Does this fit in with our plan? What outcomes will it drive? What value will this add to our business or our staff? How does it support our goals? And what are the things that we're not doing that we could be doing? Often with IT teams, there's a lot of talk about the things that you've got and not a lot of talk about the things you don't have that could add value. So another way to look at this is this bell curve. The idea being that you've got IT effort and costs, and some of that's going into BAU, business as usual. So keeping the lights on, keeping things ticking along, fixing the issues, and managing your day-to-day. Then you've got IT time and costs that actually add value to your business. Once that work is done, the staff within your organization are going to be like, oh, this is great. It saves me time, or it allows me to be more consistent, or it gives us better visibility or reporting. And then at the other end, you've got bleeding edge. So what are the things that are out there that you haven't even really considered that maybe you should be considering and having a look at now? And the bell curve shows us where, in an ideal world, your effort should be going. The BAU stuff should be under control, and your IT teams shouldn't be focusing on that. The backups and the patching and the security systems need maintenance, but that is every day and it ticks along. Where most of the effort of your IT team should be going is in adding value to the business. Otherwise, what's the point of having technology if it doesn't add value to your business and your staff? So what we often see with organizations is that it looks like this graph. BAU is massive, added value is not so big, and bleeding edge is small. And what we want to do is try and push your IT spend and your IT time away from BAU and into adding value. So that's what today we're going to be talking about. So let's go through the 5 red flags of reactive IT. So the 5 things that we might see, the symptoms and what that means and what the solutions are. So the first one is there's no plan. And this is a relatively common one. There's no strategy and there's no plan. So without a plan, it's very hard to make good IT decisions. So what you want to do is make sure that your IT plan reflects your business plan and your business strategy. Without that plan, typically you're making decisions based on what's the noisiest squeaky wheel at the time. We have to get this done because something's broken. We don't know whether the solution we're putting in place actually is going to take us forward because we don't really know where forward is. So simple solution to this, come up with a plan, come up with a IT strategy and then put in place a roadmap to get you there. The second one is a limited cybersecurity lens. And again, this is something we do see out there. Unfortunately, cybersecurity is an ongoing thing. It's a journey, not a destination, you might say. No organization can never say, oh, we're done, we're secure, and rest on their laurels, because unfortunately, it's big business for the bad guys, and they are constantly finding new ways of attacking us. What that means is the security tools you had 2 years ago are no longer fit for purpose. And the way that security used to be looked at with IT, which was largely tools based, I'll install this antivirus software, I'll put in place this firewall, it's not enough these days. Part of the reason for that is the biggest probably security risk for any organization is its people. So how are we addressing the security intelligence or the security hygiene of your staff and making sure that they're aware of all the risks and protecting themselves. So on top of that, there are different tools. There is all sorts of ingress points these days. People work a lot more differently, and COVID had a part to play in this. It used to be that everyone would come into the office and sit at their desk and we'd protect the office as a boundary, and that would be it, and they'd go home. Now people work from everywhere. They work from home constantly, but they're mobile. Everyone has a mobile device and expect their technology tools to work on it. So we have to change the way the security works. So we have to look at it at a user level and a device level, regardless of location, and secure those things, and then, like I say, train your staff. Obviously, the cost of that, as we will all know, can be really massive. Some of the cyber attacks and the breaches we've seen can have a massive financial risk and loss of reputation as well. So the third red flag of reactive IT that we can see is little or no compliance. And compliance is an extremely boring topic, but unfortunately these days it's becoming increasingly important and relevant for nearly every organisation. What we're seeing is that every organisation has to complete some sort of audit or questionnaire or meet some form of compliance. Now that might be because of their insurance company, their cyber insurers asking them increasingly difficult questions about the governance and the policies and the plans they've got in place. It might be because of regulatory compliance, things like the Privacy Act, or there might be specific regulatory compliance for your industry, depending on what you're working in. Or it could be coming from your clients. So again, increasingly what we're seeing is especially larger clients are demanding all of their vendors and suppliers to meet their audit requirements. So again, in the past, you would have your company IT policy, which would be printed out and stuck on a dusty old shelf and no one ever read, and still had things in it like, don't share your floppy drives and, don't switch off your computer or connect to the internet and be completely out of date. These days, that's just not enough. You have to have up-to-date policies and you have to train your staff on them. What we're finding increasingly for some clients is even that's not enough. Having good policies and plans and governance around these things is actually not enough because they have to follow a globally recognized framework. So again, that's part of the work that we've been doing with a few of our clients is to help them implement a framework that's going to satisfy their clients or their insurers. And there's a number of frameworks out there, and some of them are big and ugly, like ISO 27001 or NIST, but there are some more right-sized client frameworks for New Zealand small to medium businesses like CIS controls or SMB. So what we're seeing is compliance has to be more proactive. You have to front foot it. You have to be ready with your answers before the insurance company comes to you with the questions, because reacting to it is not a good way to be. No visibility and monitoring. So I touched on this before. This is a common one. Do the leaders of your business, the management team, the board, have comfort that their IT is meeting the business requirements? Do they see a measure of its health on a monthly basis? Do they see the performance of their systems? Do they understand the risks and their risk level? And does their risk level with regards to technology reflect their comfort when it comes to risk. Obviously, different businesses have different levels of comfort when it comes to risk as well. So having this visibility and this monitoring is really about also having no surprises. The last thing anyone wants is for the IT team to go, hey, surprise, we need this $50,000 investment, or whatever it might be. So part of this reporting and visibility is also making sure that the business understands what IT is doing and IT understands what the business needs. And that's actually something I perform in my role as a bit of a translator or an interpreter between IT teams and management teams to make sure that both sides understand what they should be doing. And number 5 here is just no business improvements. So every conversation is about the latest urgent fix, the latest issue, the latest band-aid that has to be applied. And there's just no time or no priority given to business improvements. Because people are so bogged down in the day-to-day firefighting and everything that's going on in their job, they don't have the time to come up for air and actually deliver those things that are actually going to add a value to the business. And again, that is a bit of just a management issue, and it's a bit of a change from worrying about urgent things to worrying about important things, and understanding the difference between the two. So that's the 5 red flags. So I'm going to go through the next couple of slides quite quickly because there's a bit to cover off here, but this has been recorded. So if you want to come back to this, you can. But what you could do in your heads maybe is rate your own organization's IT maturity. There's some sort of tests here and there's 10 tests that you could go through and give yourself a bit of a score out of 10 to see how reactive or proactive you are. So test 1, could your IT person explain how the major technology decisions align with the business requirements? Test 2, do you have proactive planning? Do you regularly meet and see how things are going and make sure that the priorities meet the business priorities? Do you have systematic maintenance, that business as usual stuff that has to be done, like patching and security reporting, all that sort of thing? Does it just happen? Is it all scheduled in and it's just ticks along, or is it a constant headache and things get forgotten and you have to chase it up? Security consistency. Are you getting good measurements and reporting on how secure your organization are? Do you have multi-factor authentication across the board and you can prove that? Is the delivery of all your security consistent across all of your staff, regardless of where and when they're working? Do you have active IT management? So is your management of your IT services proactive? Are we checking the consumption of your licensing to make sure we're not spending too much? Are we actively monitoring the vendors to make sure that they're giving us the best bang for buck? Are they actively looking at those compliance measures as well that we need to address? Number 6, people engagement. Are the key stakeholders aware of what's going on? And that might be, like say, the board or the management team. Are they comfortable with what's happening? And then down to everyone in your organization. Do they understand what they need to be doing when it comes to security risks or compliance? Is everyone on the same page? Do your staff need training on the tools that they've already got as well? Can make a big difference. Test number 7 is return on investment. If we said we were going to do this project and we said this project was going to cost us this much, but it was going to give us this, do we measure that it actually did? Was it successful? If not, why not? What can we do to make sure it is? Often with big projects, IT projects, the wins don't come until the phase 2. The first phase is all about cutting over and making sure the lights stay on and everything keeps running. And then you sort of take a breath and go, right, now let's push and get those real benefits from the new system. And that second phase is really important. Test 8, system integration. Does everything talk to each other? Have you got your staff typing in the same numbers or data into 3 different systems? Or does it all just flow? Test 9, risk management. Do you do risk assessments on a regular basis? And then do you have a plan for introducing mitigations and making sure that they get put in place? And test 10, innovation evaluation. This is looking at those bleeding edge projects on that bell curve we saw before. If you weren't looking at AI a year ago, you probably are now. It's a classic example of that what was seen as bleeding edge probably only a year ago is now commonplace. So keeping your eyes on the horizon and seeing what else is doing, seeing what your competitors are doing, is also part of having a mature IT environment. So that's 10 tests. You can think in your head how well or not so well you're doing and give yourself a score. So we understand what reactive IT looks like. We know we want to be more proactive. We know we want to be more strategic and future ready. Where do you start? And in a very simple 3 steps, to make it sound really easy, the first step is know what you've got, know your current state, know yourselves. So review your systems, be clear on where the problems are and where the systems are holding you back or where the risks are. Then the second step is define the plan. Make a plan, have a strategy. What does your future state look like? If you can see, and that might be 12 or 24 months in IT, it's quite hard to have a 5-year plan because things change so quickly. Even 12 to 24 month plans can change relatively quickly as well. But have a plan and then set the steps, set the goals to get there, set the roadmap to get there, prioritize the tasks, and then dedicate people and hold them to account to meet those tasks. Which is step 3, plan your path forward, schedule the key tasks and drive progress and prioritize that. It's very, as I said, very easy to get stuck down in the weeds doing your day-to-day job. Someone has to come in and go, right, where are we on this important project that's going to actually help the business? One of the things you can think about is what mode am I in? And what I mean by that is when it comes to all of your systems and your key systems, often organizations have a number of different systems, but there's often that one key system that really drives their business and everyone lives in that system. What mode are you in when it comes to your systems? So if we start at the top, you might be in the reviewing mode. You're actually not sure. You're reviewing your systems. You know there's some problems. You're probably thinking, well, I'm sure this could be done a better way, but you're not sure where the problems are. So the first step might be you're reviewing. You're gathering information. You're not sure. The second step, you might be in that waiting and preparing stage. So you've done the review. You know something. There's a problem. And maybe you even know what the solution is, but now's not the right time. Or before you implement that solution, there is a bunch of work that you need to do to get ready for it. So maybe you're in that waiting and preparing stage. And I guess what's important at that stage is even if you are on old systems, you understand there's problems with them, but you know you're going to move, there is still work you can do on them in the meantime. It doesn't mean that you can't implement integrations and things like that and automations. The third stage is transforming. So that might be replacing a major system, going from an old server-based application to a modern application that's maybe cloud-based and frees up time and introduces new features. And then the fourth stage might be that you're consolidating. We've just done this big piece of work to migrate to new systems. Now we want to really get the benefit from them. We were so busy just changing. Now that that change is done, let's actually really push the boat out and get the most out of these tools that we're already using. And then you probably eventually go back to the start and start the process again. So yeah, have a think about what mode you're in. So here's how we can help. So at Kinetics, as I said, this is the sort of thing we're delivering and helping clients with on a daily basis. We have a number of ways we do that. Our flight plan is a discovery review process that defines that strategy for you and with you, talks to you about your business, and then works out what the IT strategy should be and how you get there. As I mentioned, we deliver IT Manager as a service for those organizations that feel like they really need that second set of eyes or that strategic advice over their IT teams. With Kinetics, our plans, we have quarterly reviews and we do care reporting, which obviously gives you all that visibility and security and that comfort around the health of your IT. We also do steering committees for some of our organisations where all they need is an IT steering committee to bring all the key stakeholders together and agree on the plans and see the progress of them and drive them through that process. And as I said as well, we do work around helping you meet the compliance that you need to meet for your industry or for your clients. So that is the end of the presentation. I've got our contact details on there, but if you have any questions, you can just pop them in the chat.
Yeah, we don't have any questions at the moment, Reese. Thanks for that. That was it's nice. It was like a recap of some of the things that we do and a bit of a reminder of some of the things we observe. If no one has any questions, I will mention we have seen a couple of organisations with cybersecurity events, and when they have good process in place, the response is so much easier and less time consuming and disruptive. If the environment is fairly immature or not secure, in the event of a cyber event, it can take up a lot of time, in addition to all the costly and reputational damage things as well. And another one that really stood out for me too was the visibility and monitoring. It sounds really, really basic. And sometimes when I meet new organizations, it's amazing how many of them actually don't know what applications they have, what all the devices or the assets are in the fleet, or even what applications are being used in the cloud by people. It's quite enlightening. So basic stuff, but still really important.
Yeah, I think that visibility has also changed as well with the invention of all these cloud applications. You know, it's very easy for anyone in your organization to log on to some web-based application and start using it. And would you even know? Would you know if it's secure or what's happening with the data in that? And obviously things like ChatGPT have kind of highlighted that recently, but it's been around for a while with people using Dropbox or all sorts of online tools, Monday.com or Airtable or whatever. And so now it is actually really important to have visibility around what tools your staff are using. It's not as obvious as it used to be.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We don't have any questions posted.
Excellent.
You must have been incredibly
I must have answered all the
clear
questions.
Absolutely well done. So thank you to everyone for attending. I hope you found this helpful. We will be publishing this on our website. And coming up next, what do we have? Reclaim your time. So this is a great one. Did you want to talk to this, Reese?
Yeah, Joe, just a little bit. The next webinar won't be delivered by me. It will be delivered by people a lot smarter than me, but it's about reclaiming your time and using the Microsoft tools more smartly. Most New Zealand organisations, small to medium businesses that we see use the Microsoft 365 suite, and the 365 suite is extremely powerful and includes a whole array of tools that a lot of people never use. It's the old story that 90% of the feature requests that Microsoft receive are already in the product. It's just people don't know about it. So this one is going to be quite an interesting one. How can the Microsoft tools that you've probably already got help you save time? How can you use them, you and your teams, use them more smartly to do some real simple automations, use templates, all of those sorts of things? So that's
Excellent.
coming up on Wednesday, the 19th of November, 10 o'clock online.
Brilliant. Thanks very much, Reese. Appreciate your time today. And thanks to everyone for joining, and we'll see you next time.
Great. Thanks a lot.